Are you ready to get into Drake Maye's development, Keefe?
Oh, I'm ready to get in there. I was born ready, Jones.
I tell you.
What do you think?
I didn't love that answer yesterday.
I thought it was a straight. He kind of okey-doked us with the answer.
Yeah.
He changed his answer mid-answer.
I didn't like it.
He was like, "Yeah, I'd learn from that, but I'd do it again." You're like, "Wait a minute. So you would or you would not?"
Maybe
learn
a
from
different ball flight, but I'm not changing my decision. It's like you're not changing your decision.
I think a different ball flight would have absolutely been the better decision there. I think you might have had a touchdown.
Different
there
ball flight
yeah.
is a different decision. What are you talking about?
Correct. Yeah, I'd learn from that, but I'd do it again. You're like, I'm like, okay. I don't really know if I don't know if I understand that.
I don't know. He seems a little too okay with turning it over, and that like that was a killer turnover,
backbreaker,
and he seems a little too okay with that turnover in that spot, even with a day to reflect, and while kind of sort of taking some blame. Yeah, no, I'd make the same decision again. Which I guess Wiggy was just filling us in on the gaps on this, but I guess great minds can't disagree on this, Keith, because Wiggy and Ty, and even he was saying Boomer Esiason are all kind of on one side, and then Chris Scheim is on the other.
True.
On that interception in the end zone.
And, Ty, Wiggy, and Scheim, I love all three of those guys, but they don't see eye to eye on this. And apparently the Hall of Fame cornerback, Ty Law, is telling Chris Scheim that he just should have put the ball, back pylon, and he would have had a touchdown, which I agree with. That's what I thought in real time. And when they showed the replay, it was like kind of confirmed. You're like, because everyone's like, oh, the ball got tipped. What do you want him to do? The ball got tipped. Well, you don't throw it that low. You throw it higher and further away. Then you probably have a touchdown. And yet apparently Scheim really dug his heels in and was like, no. That was the right throw. It's like, well, it ended in an interception. I don't think it was the right throw.
So Scheim likes that answer from May, I'm sure. Good decision.
I kind of think. Now, maybe I'm wrong on this. Maybe this is where nobody would agree with me.
Okay.
Even if the ball isn't tipped, it might get picked.
Yeah.
It's more likely to get picked on that flight path than it would have been had he just gone like up and over. So the tip made the interception easier, but I feel like if you watch that play over and over again, like a lot of us have, I think even if Hayward doesn't get his big paw on it, it might still get like undercut and picked. So like that was not the right throw. Drake Maye overall had a solid game, but that was devastating. That was a horrible decision.
Yeah, I think big picture, and this is something we're going to get into all day long here on Jones and Keefe. It is Tier Tuesday. We're going to be tearing off breakfast cereals, Keefe.
You got that right.
Very excited about that.
Yeah, me too. This is going to be pretty good. Our food ones are usually pretty exciting. Polarizing at times.
They are.
It could lead to some big arguments.
We've had this one in the back pocket for some time.
I'm excited.
So we're excited to get to that.
I love a big bowl of cereal.
Oh, me too.
A giant bowl of cereal.
It's a Tom E. Tuesday.
Yes.
He joins us every Tuesday, most of the time at high noon Eastern time.
Right.
He's going to be high noon
Brazil.
High noon Brazil time.
Yeah, high noon Brazil time. Okay. So that'll be 11 o'clock for here locally. If you're with us in Boston, it'd be 11 o'clock.
Okay. So last week he was high noon Central time.
Correct.
This week, Brazil. High noon in Brazil.
That's right.
So the man is very consistent.
Yeah.
So we'll talk to Tommy Curran a little less than an hour from now at 11 o'clock Eastern time.
Correct.
Plus we have a Kiefer Madness for you at 12:45 as we do each and every Tuesday. You can jump in, 617-779-7937. You can interact on Twitter and Instagram at Jones and Keefe. You can watch along and chat, or can you?
Yeah, you can.
Twitch.tv/Boston WEEI. I know it's
YouTube.
not there.
YouTube, go to YouTube.
You're going to have to do it on YouTube. Always a healthy chat going on on YouTube.
It's feisty.
So make sure you check us out there today.
It's like worlds colliding. The YouTube chat people aren't usually used to talking to the Twitch chat people. They've sort of migrated over. Now there's like a little bit of a
is
battle.
YouTube going to get introduced to Monty Mac?
If they're lucky.
Oh, good call.
Lucky.
What if that's already taken on YouTube? Well, the handle's already taken.
Monty_Mac. With a 1.
You can go Hogdale. Monty Mac _ at the end.
You could do that.
You could hit him with that at the end of that.
Good discourse in there. We'll have that up and running. So when it comes down to guessing the random baseball player in grab bag, we can look at YouTube today.
That's what we'll be looking at. Yeah, you're right. So that's going on there today, again on YouTube. Just subscribe to WEEI. The book is out on the Patriots and their turnovers. The book is out on Drake Maye and the turnovers, and maybe it's because he doesn't seem to care about them. I was very intrigued by this answer. He was asked about Ramondre Stevenson, but Cam Hayward gave a very interesting answer to Mike Florio yesterday after the game. He said, we practice a lot of our turnover circuits, punching the ball, being aware of different opportunities to create turnovers, he told Florio by phone after the game. And we knew there were a lot of career fumbles on the other side. So I read that, and I'm like, oh, okay, he's talking about Ramondre.
Or
He says, well, we're practicing that. We got to be well prepared for the opportunities. And then Florio asked to follow up about specifically being prepared for Stevenson, and he says, we were aware every time he was in the game, and that's not anything on him, and it's not just him. Drake Maye has turned the ball over earlier in his career, and a couple of other guys as well. We were really locked in on this group. Yep.
Gibson's a fumbler.
That turns it over, and it's about making sure you're there for the opportunities and you have a good chance to punch it loose. So, look, they were locked in on Stevenson. They were aware of Stevenson. They were ready to go on Ramondre. But the next name he mentioned, the only other name he specifically mentioned, was Drake Maye. Yeah, he's turned it over in his career. That's the book on Drake Maye.
100%. I mean, he says like early in his career. It's all early in his career. He hasn't even played 20 NFL games yet, right? He's like sneaking up on finally like a full season because he didn't start right away a year ago, but he has fumbled a bunch. And I think any good defensive coordinator would obviously know that, or head coach would know that. But I don't think it hurts that Jabril Peppers, who was a teammate last year and saw Drake Maye fumbles, saw Ramondre Stevenson fumbles. Gibson's real issues were more back in Washington, less so last year. But all three of those guys have a little bit of a history of putting the ball on the ground. So defensively, those guys were going for it, and they got it. They caused a bunch of turnovers in the game. And, that's something that all those guys are going to have to put behind them. We gave some examples yesterday of players that were fumble-prone early in their careers, and whether they changed how they held the ball or whatever, they sort of cleaned it up and were able to have good careers. But right now, that is definitely attached to, I would say, all three of those guys, right? I think Gibson, maybe it comes back up a little bit. Stevenson, clearly, the last year and 3 games, has been a big issue. And then Drake Maye. I mean, Drake Maye, I think, had as many fumbles as any quarterback last year, and he didn't play all the games. Like, the guys that he was tied with all played 17 games. So as far as, like, per snap, he was right up there at the top of the league. So he has to clean that up.
So to me, the most concerning one out of that group is Maye. Like, Stevenson's pretty easy. We said yesterday, make him inactive for this week. Don't give him a uniform.
Maye's going to have the ball every time.
And you drafted Travion Henderson, whether or not he's ready for it. I mean, you took him at 38 for a reason.
Yeah.
There was already, I think, a projected ascension there in the running back room. You have alternatives, in other words. Drake Maye, you don't. So when the book's out on Drake Maye, and people start referring to him as turnover-prone, loose with the football, that goes to the interception decision that he made in the end zone, which was a poor decision, and he doesn't seem to be losing any sleep over it based on his appearance yesterday on WEEI Afternoons. If you missed any of it, we played it for you off the top. You can also hit the rewind feature on the Odyssey app to go back and listen to their full interview yesterday. You can also listen on the iHeartRadio and TuneIn apps. But he doesn't seem beaten up and broken down over that one. Same with the fumbling issues that continue to plague him. So I just wonder if he realizes that turnovers are problematic. I wonder if he realizes that the book is out and people now know he's loose with the football. And I wonder if he cares. And again, you can discuss 617-779-7937. We're here, Keefe, 3 weeks into year 2 with Drake Maye. Yeah. A lot of people point out, and you just said this, he didn't play a full allotment of games as a rookie. He's still kind of a rookie.
He kind of is.
Which I don't really co-sign on, but you hear it all the time. Well, guys, he still hasn't even played a full season's worth of games. He's still
close.
A rookie.
He's getting there.
He's 3 games into year 2 is how I would say it. How do we feel about his development? Like, big picture, taking a step back from just Sunday, how do we feel about his development here under Vrabel?
I think it's been overall positive. I would say week 2 was the best game he's played in his entire career. And so that is very much a positive, right? This isn't, Mac Jones, who I think a lot of people had doubts about anyway, even when they drafted him, right? He was the 5th quarterback taken in that draft, probably overdrafted, probably shouldn't have been a first-round pick. Had a pretty productive year 1, though, and I know it was really kind of aided by a couple of big games, but whatever. Like, they had a top 10 offense, and they made the playoffs. But then even in year 2, you're like, oh, he's worse. He's worse in year 2. Like, Drake Maye is already better in year 2, in my opinion.
I do agree with that.
That's a good sign, right? And so hopefully the wins will come. Like, eventually the wins will be there. Nobody thought he was going to have 17 games with no no interceptions and no fumbles, right? Like, that's not going to happen. But you'd like to see it, still clean that up a little bit and not throw interceptions in the end zone, for example, which almost feels like it's like 2 or 3 interceptions, right? Like, that's how you have to weigh it that way. But I would say for a guy that in year 2 has a new head coach, has a new offensive coordinator, has a bunch of new teammates around him, I think it has been a a positive. Like, I'm not looking at him right now and being like, oh, he's a top 10 quarterback, but I'm also not looking at him being like, he's a bottom 10 quarterback. Like, I think he's kind of where he needs to be right now on the way up.
Yeah, and the turnovers are maddening.
Yeah.
And I don't think 14 points on Sunday. Some of it was his own turnovers. Some of it was other people's fault. Pop Douglas short of the sticks, the Stevenson fumbles, the Gibson fumble. But he turned it over as much as anybody else on Sunday, and he led the offense to 14 points. And leading up to the Pop Douglas play on fourth down, he had an incomplete pass, and they came up short of the sticks. And I'm not going to let him off the hook for all of that, especially given how pivotal both of those turnovers were. So I don't think Sunday was good enough. But taking a step back and kind of looking at it for the first 3 weeks and comparing to what Drake Maye looked like as a rookie, and given some of the utilization, we've talked about the way he's run through the first 3 weeks. That looks way better than a year ago, where it looked like he kind of went a read, maybe looked towards a second read, and then took off and panicked. He looks more in control, and I think he has developed. So I feel okay about the overall development and the trajectory, and it seems like he's in a way better place in year 2. Maybe that should be self-evident. You have more experience, more under your belt, but he seems to be in a better place than he was as a rookie. So I do feel good about that. But the turnovers have to get cleaned up. That said, the 2 names he gets comped to all the time. Nick did some research on this.
Nick was doing homework.
Nick Stats and Info.
Yeah.
He came in with a binder.
Yeah, he did.
Notebook that I've had for about
notepad.
20 years, and it's on page 3.
Yeah, well,
He had a Jurassic Park Trapper Keeper.
He came in with notes ready to go today, and Nick took it upon himself to look at Josh Allen. You hear that name all the time.
Stud.
Not just from callers to sports radio.
MVP of the league.
Okay, Mike Reese wrote after week 1, a GM reached out and brought up Josh Allen to Mike Reese, brag. But he brought up the name Josh Allen. So people in the league are doing the same comp, okay? Through 3 games in year 2, Josh Allen, I know, was 3-0, and the Bills were on their route to a 10-win season and a playoff appearance. But what were the numbers through 3 weeks, Nick? What did your research tell you?
Drake Maye has 6 touchdowns and 3 turnovers compared to Josh Allen's 5 touchdowns, 5 total touchdowns, 5 turnovers.
Okay, so hang on. So 1 more touchdown for Maye.
More touchdowns, less turnovers.
And 2 fewer turnovers through 3 games compared to Josh Allen.
Before Josh Allen went to New England and turned the ball over 3 more times, so he would have 3 total touchdowns, or 5 total touchdowns, and 8 turnovers. He also did fumble in that game, didn't lose it.
Well, but yeah, he was
in
horrible.
That whole season, he fumbled 14 times.
Okay.
Yeah, Zooks.
So, I mean,
14 fumbles.
Allen in year 2 was still turnover prone, inaccurate, making mistakes left and right.
Yeah, he had completed 58% of his passes that year. Drake Maye this season is at 72.5 or whatever.
Okay, look, that makes me feel better. I'll be honest, all of that makes me feel better.
Definitely.
His team won 10 games and they were in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know,
but that's not the only indication, because Mac Jones won 10 games, but nobody was like, hell yeah, this is definitely the guy.
It's true.
I think in 2 of those wins, Josh Allen scored like 17 points. He needed like 17 or 16 points.
No, but and then even the playoff game that he played in was one of the worst playoff games of all time. Like, it was
Allen.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that one?
Against the Texans? Is that right?
Yeah.
It wasn't even a game.
Somebody has to win this one. The guys were like throwing the ball backwards. Like, it set the game of football back several years.
Okay, let me give you another one that he gets comped to a lot. Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
Herbert did not make the playoffs. He won 9 games, though, in year 2. He started out with 6 touchdowns to, it looks like, 3 turnovers in the first 3 weeks of the year. So, again, very comparable. He started 2-1. Allen started 3-0. Drake Maye is 1-2, and it's not like Drake's played a tough schedule.
No.
Those 3 games for Herbert, he went 337 and a touchdown, 338 and a touchdown, 2 picks, 281, 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
His first 3 games of that year.
But would you? So this is, I think, a tough case where, like, as a fan of the team, you want them to win as many games as possible, obviously. However, if you had to choose between those 2 things, right? Let's say it's a Justin Herbert type season where you're like, oh, this guy's really good, but the team just misses the playoffs. Or
it just misses the playoffs. They have a winning record, but they're a game out of the playoffs.
Yeah. Let's say they're like 8 or 9.
Before you even finish your question, I'd take that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or like you win a couple more games, you're firmly in the playoffs, but it's a little bit more of a roller coaster. It's a little bit more winning on defense and running game, like a Mac Jones in 21. I think long term you would have to take the Herbert season for Drake Maye than you would like the overall team.
I think Drake Maye is on pace this year for 4,500 yards.
Well, I was just going to say, that is.
He comps very, very well to Herbert and Allen through 3 games in year 2. He does. Not the wins, but there's time to fix that. but he comps very well to those two statistically, including turnovers, touchdowns, passing yards, rating, all that stuff. He does.
3 games is early, but we were doing this with Pop Douglas yesterday. If you project out the rest of the season, and it's probably a little bit better to do it after 4 weeks because that's a bigger sample, but after 3 weeks, to Nick's point, Drake May's on pace for 4,448 yards, which the preseason over-under was like 3,500,
Way over. I mean, he's going to go way over if he keeps up that pace.
And then the touchdown passes was like 19.5 was the over-under. He's on pace for 28.
Yeah, but here's what I don't want. I don't want him to put up all those numbers and win 6 games. So, like, I don't want him to have great numbers and win 6 games. Like, I would rather, he's a little more in between statistically, but they win the 8 or 9. Like, I am putting some emphasis on winning games.
Yeah, no, I want to win games too. But
Herbert won them by year 2.
Yeah.
Allen was in the playoffs by year 2. This guy should be at least doing what Herbert did year 2. 9-8, 8-9, good statistical season, clear breakout, teams on the right path. Maybe they don't have enough. Maybe they lose a key game at the end of the year or lose out on a tiebreaker or something and they're out. I don't want a 6-win team, and he lights it up statistically, but has boneheaded turnovers at the end of games like he did on Sunday. That's what I don't want.
But I don't want to give the guy excuses like I probably did all of last season. But if this defense doesn't turn it around, I thought part of the reason why I thought they would be a playoff team is because I thought the defense was going to be like a top 10 defense. So if the defense continues to be a one that misses tackles all the time, gives up these big scoring drives, then that's going to be tough to overcome. Some of the other rookies or young quarterbacks that have been able to win a bunch of games had the benefit of at least an above-average defense, let alone a great defense. And so right now they're letting them down too.
So ready for this? Sticking with the turnovers for a moment. This is Doug Kide, who just tweeted this out in the last 15 minutes or so.
Okay. Ooh, it's a fresh tweet.
Nope, I'm sorry.
Never
this
mind.
is from
15 hours ago.
Yeah, it was longer ago, but somebody just sent it to me.
3 weeks ago.
Drake Maye
Yep.
has shown improvement this year, but turnovers are still an issue. In the 2024 draft class, Maye is second turnovers per game. He trails J.J. McCarthy, who's only played 2 games.
Yeah, but he sucks.
But he's turned it over more than Rattler, Nix, Penix,
penis.
Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels.
Caleb Williams is nice.
Other active QBs with more than 1.19 turnovers per game.
Okay.
Here are the names.
All right.
Jameis.
Well, he giveth and he taketh away.
Will Levis.
Not good.
His good pal Sam Howell.
Oh, yeah.
Bailey Zappi.
Zappi's turning it over that much.
Drake Maye turns it over more than Trevor Lawrence, Anthony Richardson, Josh Dobbs, Joe Flacco, Sam Darnold, Nick Mullins, Matt Stafford.
He's trying to make a play. He's trying to put the team on his back out there. It hasn't really worked out thus far.
So,
no, I think it's obvious. He has to hold on to the ball better.
Those are not encouraging numbers there at the quarterback spot, and it's self-evident. You have to get that sorted out. And then he gives an answer yesterday to Andy and Fitzy, and he's like, well, yeah, I'd do the same decision again. Like, oh, maybe I got to change the ball trajectory,
but I would also do the same
but I'm still going to do it again.
So you think he meant I made the right read? I'm throwing the booty every single time. I just need to change the flight of the ball. That's how I read it.
It's not what he said, but hopefully that's what he meant. Yeah, I don't know what he meant, but that is not what he said. I just wonder if he gets it. I wonder if he gets it at this point in time. We were wondering that about Josh Allen.
Yeah.
3 games into year 2. People were probably wondering about Herbert and some other quarterbacks as well. And he compares very favorably statistically to those guys. He does start racking up wins and cutting down the turnovers. He's going to have to start doing that.